over 2,500 subscribers.
Never gonna stop now, baby.
Hello, everybody, and I'd like to send out a special welcome to those that are new around here. You're going to have to get used to this intro because welcome to the house that is officially mad. You're mad too now by default because you're here and you've subscribed. But if for some reason you haven't subscribed and you like my content and I resonate with you on some level, then please consider smashing that subscribe button down below, chucking us a thumbs up, maybe dropping us a comment. Where are you from? Especially all the newcomers around here. Where are you from? I would love to hear from you. So let's get into this week's video, shall we? There seems to be a little bit of a common thread for me in the last week, in that I'm falling into self-reflection where advice is concerned, I guess. You know the adage, we're great at handing out advice for people, but when it actually comes to following our own advice, it's the hardest thing in the world. Regardless of whether we know that it's right or not, it's just really, really hard to follow our own advice. So we rely on those that we trust to be able to be that person who can maybe give some tough love or gentle cage rattling. I'm all for a good cage rattle, by the way, I'm just saying. Worked for me. It really is hard to follow your own advice. And, you know, I've always said that, you know, it's difficult even when you try to trust your own instinct, when you know that, like I know in myself, the only time I stuff things up is if I don't trust my instinct. I literally, every time, if I ignore my instinct, something goes belly up. It's just, it goes bad real quick. So I have to be extremely mindful of when my instinct is going up. Hello? Or fix it. It's like, come on now. It is difficult to listen to that little inner voice of wisdom. And we all have it. We all have that little Jiminy Cricket on our shoulders, our conscience, our instinct. We all have it. But then, you know, you sort of like go, oh no, that can't be right. That can't be right. That's my instinct is saying to do this, right? And it's like, oh, that sounds a bit risky. Oh, that sounds that sounds risky. Oh, the repercussions of that, massive. So you tend to go for what's safe. Hello. Yeah, I've done that too. Too many times to count. Safe is not always going to be the right way to do. Sometimes you have to get out of your comfort zone. I'm always saying to my kids, would you just get out of your own way for a minute, please? And yet when it comes for me to get out of my own way, that's where my husband comes into it. He is always saying, you're getting in your own way again. You're overthinking it. Da, 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 da. He's always there to let me know when I falter. And everybody needs somebody that they trust to be able to be that voice for them. Because we can't always hear what Jiminy's saying on our shoulders. You know, it's very hard to listen to that voice. It really, really is. What I'm saying here is try to practice when your instinct, when your Jiminy Cricket is trying to tell you something. It is hard to listen to sometimes. It just is. You know, there's many times in our lives when we find ourselves completely and utterly overwhelmed because there's just so many things going on in our lives and we're just like, oh my God, how do I push through this? It seems It's like a Mount Everest. How do I get to the summit of this thing? I need to get to the summit so I can look at everything. You know, I need to see the big picture. For some things, that's going to work. For me, I've come to the conclusion, for me, that sometimes looking at the big picture is not really going to help me in some things, not in all things, in some things. Like some of us have that mind where it's like if there's too many things on the plate, it's like I don't know where to stick me fork. It's like and so everything just goes because you can't focus. It's like cleaning a house, for instance. If you've got poor mental health, ADHD, or depression, anxiety, doesn't matter. If you are a seasoned procrastinator like myself, I'll own it. I will own it. You look at your house that might be a mess from ceiling to floor, okay? And you look at that mess and you're like, oh my God, I don't know where to start. Have you ever said that to yourself when you've gone to clean a house, clean the car, do the gardening, whatever it is? Doesn't matter. You're going, ay, where do I start? So how do you do that? How do you navigate that? How do you teach yourself to navigate those things without needing the advice from other people to do what you need to do? So I'm going to tell you what I would do. And this is what I advise people. I advise my own kids with this. So, okay, let's take my youngest son. His room could use a bit of a clean, I'm just saying. But anyway, I digress. Any teenager's bedroom is it's a bombshell. It's a bomb. It looks like a bomb's gone off. So it's fine. So I would say, look, you know what? Yeah, if you look at the whole room, darling, you're going to back away slowly, or you're going to turn the blinkers on and you're just not going to look at any of the mess. And that's just looking at the big picture. Don't focus on that. List 10 things in this room you'd like to clean. And then pick one of them. Just do one thing. Do one thing. Even if it's just like cleaning your desk where your computer is. Do that first. Sit back and admire your work. You can choose something difficult. You can choose something easy. But choose one thing and change that one thing. 1%. In the plus column, in the positive column, change it. 1%. Atomic habits. When we are overwhelmed, I believe when we are overwhelmed with way too many things on our plate, nothing gets done. Nothing gets done. I tend to fall into that trap where I just get the overwhelmed feeling. I then start to feel like rubbish. I feel terrible because I'm not doing anything about anything. So you have to take what you are presented with and break it down into small bite-sized pieces that are easy to digest. Before you know it, if you keep doing those things on your list one at a time, take it easy, one at a time, you'll actually, by the end of it, you've probably accomplished, for example, my son would have ended up cleaning up his whole room. If I looked at the pool table, dining area, and kitchen as a whole, I'd be like, oh, hell no. I ain't playing that game. But you got to start small. So, all right, small for me. All right, I've got my little coffee station there. It could use a bit of a spruce up. I'm going to do that tomorrow. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep that clean. And then the next day, I'm going to do the toaster area. I mean, I don't have toast, but, the kids do. My husband doesn't, but my kids occasionally have toast. But that's where the kettle is as well for tea. So, day 1, clean the coffee station. Day 2, make sure the coffee station is clean. Then move on to the next surface and then clean that. And then the next day, make sure those 2 surfaces are clean and move around to where the dish rack is and just work in a circle. You're probably wondering how it went this week with weight loss, measurements, and photographs, and all the things. Well, why don't we just cue the montage? So my measurements have remained the same this week, and that's fine. The pictures probably tell a slightly different story, I'm just saying. And I've lost 300 grams. Hey, a loss is a loss. I'll take it. It's fine. How do I feel? I feel better. The vertigo is still there. I've adjusted a few things. I have started taking K2. I've done a lot of research on this vertigo thing, and, it's entirely possible that, with the lymphatic system moving around as much as it is, now because of the vibration plate, that I've got a little bit of excess calcium going on. So we need to absorb that a little bit, because I think the system whereby my body should be naturally absorbing the calcium is going, no. My body's rebelling a little bit, and that's fine. It can rebel. I've got countermeasures that I can put in place that's going to sort that out. I'm the boss of this, not this the boss of me, kind of, if you know what I mean. It's a learning process. We've started year 2 on this thing now, and it's like, yeah, there's going to be more to come. And, there's a lot of people who would say, well, these things have probably been wrong for quite some time, and now that you've lost what you've lost, they've come to the surface and they need to be addressed. That's fine. I can deal with that. I'm good with it. It's not like I'm going anywhere with this eating lifestyle. It's here to stay. This is the norm. I don't know anything else. I don't know any different. I wanted to let you also know that I have started a Facebook group for those that like Facebook, and it's called the Carnivore Odyssey. I will actually put the link in the description below, but please, I'm begging you, please, if you apply to, because it's a secret group, I'm not making this open to every man and his dog, so to speak. There are some questions to answer, and there are group rules. If you don't answer the questions and approve the group rules, you will be declined. I need to not only protect my peace, I need to protect the peace of those that are already there. So please be mindful that to gain entry, I need you to answer the questions and approve the group rules, because I'm not putting up with nonsense. No, not happening. So I think I'll leave you in peace now until Friday. I want you to be kind to those around you. Protect your peace. Don't take any crap. and be kind to yourself. You are loved, you are appreciated, and oh boy, are you enough. I'll see you on Friday. Bye for now, folks. Mwah.
Yeah, yeah.